Hello, welcome back to a new episode of Canto Be Like, a Cantonese and English bilingual podcast, helping you to learn Cantonese and Hong Kong culture. I'm your host, Venus, and today is actually our 10th episode, and also our final phrase and vocab episode for eating out in Hong Kong. And as of the time of recording this episode, so now is the 2nd of June in Hong Kong, and we have actually hit almost 250 downloads, which is so amazing for a brand new podcast. Especially it's kind of niche since it's teaching Cantonese instead of Mandarin or English. And we are hitting such a big milestone after like 2 weeks of starting the show. So a huge shout out to my listener who've been so supportive of this new show, Canto Be Like. And to celebrate that, I'm thinking of doing a little like new bonus episode on numbers and counting, like how to say time, how to say like a price, and like the basics of Cantonese numbers. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, anyway, today's episode is going to be on eating out in Hong Kong, and I will divide it into 4 sessions. One is arriving at the restaurant. What do you say to the waiter? What do you say to your friends? And the vocabulary. And second would be ordering, how to make an order. And the third will be during the meal, like your little chit chat with your friends and family, and what would we normally say. And the fourth and final session would be paying for the bills and maybe complaining if things went badly, or complimenting the restaurant staff if things went well. So yeah, let's dive in. Alright guys, welcome to the first session, which is arriving at the restaurant. 咁我講少少廣東話啦，咁而家你嚟到咗呢間餐廳啦。You have arrived at the restaurant. So the waiter, 侍應 is going to greet you, and they are likely to ask, Hello 先生或者小姐，你幾位啊？So 先生 is sir, and 小姐 is madam. So 先生 sir, 先生 or madam, 小姐 But sometimes for maybe obviously married women, they will use this term called Mrs. or 太太. So they will greet you like 你好, hello, 你好. And the whole thing is 你好先生 or 小姐 or 太太，請問你幾位啊? So I will explain the second phrase. 請問你幾位啊? 請問你幾位啊? Which means, may I ask the number of your party? So 請問 is may I ask. 你幾位啊 is the number of your party. So the whole phrase would be, say you're a man, and it will be 你好先生，請問你幾位啊? So that's our first phrase. And the second phrase I want to teach you is your respond. So, which is why I said I would do a number episode, because I realize this keeps coming up. So I want to do it one and for all for y'all. And okay, let's say you'll have a party of 3. So 3. 3 is 3. So you would say 我哋3位啊, which means we are a party of 3. 我哋3位啊. Alright, so you can substitute the number into the 3. So if you have a party of 4, it will be 我哋有4位啊. 我哋有四位啊。If it's a party of two, is it 我哋兩位啊？我哋兩位啊。If it's just you, then 一位咋，淨係得一位咋。Only one. Alright. And often you will follow with asking them if they have seats. Like after you tell them your number of parties, say 我哋有四位啊。請問你哋有冇位啊？ You ask 請問你哋有冇位啊？請問你哋有冇位啊？ So can I ask if you guys have seats? Is the response you will say following the answer to how many people you have. And they will either be like, yes, we have seats, come right in, or they will tell you they don't have seats at the moment and tell you approximately how long you need to wait. So I will deal with the yes scenario, so they have seats, and they will say, 我哋有位啊，請跟我入嚟啊。我哋有位啊，請跟我入嚟啊。Which means we have seats, please follow me. 我哋有位啊，請跟我入嚟啊。But if they don't have seats, they would say, we don't have seats and you need to wait, say, 10 minutes. And it goes like this in Cantonese. 唔好意思啊，我哋冇位啊，可能要等10分鐘。唔好意思啊，我哋冇位啊，可能要等10分鐘。So 唔好意思 is excuse me, sorry, apologies. So a way to say sorry in Cantonese, 唔好意思. It is very versatile. You can say 唔好意思 to someone when you're passing by, trying to squeeze through, that kind of thing, or you want to apologize. It works both ways, but it's slightly more casual. If it's like a sincere, like a higher level apology, you will say 對唔住. But 唔好意思 is like excuse me. So the waiter would say 唔好意思啊，我哋冇位啊。Which means we don't have seats. 我哋冇位啊。可能要等10分鐘。Maybe you need to wait for 10 minutes. 可能要等10分鐘。And then that's more or less the conversation you will have to know for getting a seat at a restaurant in Hong Kong. So let's do a tiny recap. So say waiter. I'm a waiter now, and then I will say, 你好先生，請問你幾多位啊？ And then you say, 我有4位啊，請問你哋有冇位啊？ And then he say, either 我哋有位啊，請跟我入嚟啊。 Or they have no seats, and he says, 唔好意思啊，我哋冇位啊，可能要等10分鐘。 And then you just reply with okay, or nah, I won't wait, or I will wait. Etc., etc. So, alright, moving on. So, the second part, we're going to talk about the ordering. Say you're seated, 佢哋俾咗張台你啦, so they gave you a table, and now you have looked at the menu and you have decided what to order, kinda, and you will wave at the waiter, so make kinda like big gesture or like some hint that you're ready to order, and the seeing, so the waiter comes. And I know in Western restaurant they will usually start with asking if you have any allergy, but they don't do that in Hong Kong, so I will teach you how to say that in Cantonese, so because I know that's important. So allergy in Cantonese is 食物過敏 or you're allergic, 我對呢樣嘢過敏 And I know the most common allergy is probably peanut, so you can say 我對花生過敏啊，所以可唔可以唔好喺我啲嘢食入邊落花生啊？ Which means I'm allergic to peanuts, so don't add that to my food. Or you don't like something in your food, like coriander, for example. That's a very common food that people dislike, but it appears in a lot of Chinese cuisines. So coriander is 芫茜. So you can say something like 我唔鍾意芫茜啊，可唔可以唔好落我啲餸度啊？我唔鍾意芫茜啊，可唔可以唔落我啲餸度啊？ So this means I don't like coriander, so don't add that to my food. And 唔落我啲餸度 sounds like a bit of a tongue twister, but it means don't add that to my dish. The next thing I want to teach you is asking for recommendation, because I know a lot of places, especially like I mentioned 大排檔, they will actually be happy to give you recommendation. So you can ask something like 今日有咩新鮮啊？你哋有咩推介啊？今日有咩新鮮啊？你哋有咩推介啊？ Which means what's fresh today? What's new today? Do you have any recommendation? 推介 is recommendation. 推介. And if you decided you would accept that recommendation, you would say something like 聽落都幾好喎，咁我要呢個啦。聽落都幾好喎，咁我要呢個啦。That sounds pretty good. I will take that. But if you do have something in mind and you want to order, you can say something like 我想要呢個，我想要呢個。So it's just I want this. And you can substitute this with the name of the dish. So say you want 乾炒牛河, which is a fried beef noodle. So you can say 我想要乾炒牛河，我想要乾炒牛河。Or you can say 唔該我想要一碟乾炒牛河，唔該我想要一碟乾炒牛河。So a tiny recap for allergy and dislike, there are two sentences. The first one is 我對呢樣嘢過敏啊，可唔可以唔好落我啲餸度啊？ That's allergy. 我對呢樣嘢過敏啊，請唔好落我啲餸度。And for dislike, you can say 我唔鍾意呢個啊，可唔可以唔好落我啲餸度啊？我唔鍾意呢個啊，可唔可以唔落我啲餸度啊？ And second, for recommendation, 今日有咩新鮮啊？你有咩推介啊？今日有咩新鮮啊？你有咩推介啊？ And for actual ordering, say you take the recommendation, you can say 聽落都幾好喎，咁我要呢個啦。聽落都幾好喎，咁我要呢個啦。And for actual ordering, you can say 唔該，我想要呢個 and substitute 呢個 with the dish. So if it's 乾炒牛河, you can say 唔該，我想要乾炒牛河。唔該，我想要乾炒牛河。So moving on to part 3, which is during the meal, I'm going to teach you some phrases that come up every time when I'm dining with my family. So the first would be asking someone to pass you something, be it toothpick, 牙籤, chopsticks, 筷子, spoon, 羹, or the bowl of rice, 嗰碗飯. So it goes like this. 喂，唔該，可唔可以俾一俾嗰個我啊？ And substitute 嗰個 with the vocab I just taught you. So if you want chopstick, you can say 唔該，可唔可以俾一俾對筷子我啊？唔該，可唔可以俾一俾對筷子我啊？ Or if you want the rice, you can say 唔該，可唔可以俾一俾碗飯我啊？唔該，可唔可以俾一俾碗飯我啊？ And sometimes, in Chinese cuisine, you are sharing dishes. So if one dish is far from you and you want access to it, you can ask someone to 唔該，可唔可以搬一搬碟餸過嚟啊？唔該，可唔可以搬一搬嗰碟餸過嚟啊？ So it's just asking them to move that dish closer to you. And sometimes the rice comes with a bigger bowl and you want to share it with someone, you can say 你介唔介意同我一齊 share 個碗飯啊？你介唔介意同我一齊 share 個碗飯啊？ And that's right, we actually kind of common to use the English word share when we're, asking someone to share the bowl of rice with us. At least in my family, like we always say share instead of 分. I guess you can also say 介唔介意同我一齊分一分個碗飯, but share sounds more natural to me. And At dinner, you kind of will make small talk on the food. So you will say something like, 你覺得嗰碗碟餸點啊？你覺得嗰碟餸點啊？ How do you find the dish? 食飽未啊？食飽未啊？ Are you full? 唔夠嘅話，我哋可以再嗌啲嘢㗎喎。唔夠嘅話，我哋可以再嗌啲嘢㗎喎。If you're not full, we can order some more. Something that is common in Cantonese restaurant is they usually give you a teapot of tea. So your mom and dad might, or maybe someone who you are dining with will ask you, 你仲唔要多啲茶啊？你仲要唔要多啲茶啊？ So would you like some more tea? So a recap, asking someone to pass you something. 你介唔介意俾一俾對筷子我啊？你介唔介意俾一俾碗飯我啊？你介唔介意俾一俾條匙羹我啊？ Asking someone to move a dish. 你介唔介意遞一遞碟餸俾我啊？或者你介唔介意搬一搬碟餸過嚟啊？ Asking someone if they want to share a bowl of rice with you. 你想唔想同我 share 呢碗飯啊？你想唔想同我 share 呢碗飯啊？ Or go real Chinese and say, 你想唔想同我分呢碗飯啊？你想唔想同我分呢碗飯啊？ And asking someone about their thoughts about the meal. 你覺得啲餸點啊？你覺得啲餸點啊？你食飽未啊？你食飽未啊？ Are you full? If you're not full, 如果你未食飽嘅話，我哋可以再嗌啲嘢㗎喎。如果你未食飽嘅話，我哋可以再嗌啲嘢㗎喎。So these are the real common phrases I use with my parents almost on a daily basis. So I think it will be quite helpful and a pleasant surprise to your parents if you can use these phrases during a meal with them. And ta-da! This is our fourth and final session, which is finishing the meal. So you're well pampered by a delicious Cantonese food, and one person will probably declare something like, 大家食飽未啊？食飽就行啦。大家食飽未啊？食飽就行啦。 Which means, is everybody full? If we are full, we are good to go. A person will probably wave at the seeing and be like, 唔該埋單，唔該埋單。So please can we get the bill? And a lot of like more upscale restaurant, they will probably come with the bill to your table. So they come with this like fold, like a black fold of with your receipt in it, and they will come with this thing and they will ask. So they usually don't say the price. They will just let you check your receipt and they will say something like, 啲嘢嚟齊未啊？啲嘢嚟齊未啊？ So have all the dishes arrived? And you will check and you will probably say, 嚟齊啦，唔該，我想埋單。嚟齊啦，唔該，我想埋單。And the waiter will say, 多謝晒先生，請問你想點俾？多謝晒先生，請問你想點俾？ Or 小姐 or 太太, depending on your gender and age. And you can say, 俾現金啊，唔該。俾現金啊，唔該。Or 俾卡啊，唔該。俾卡啊，唔該。So 現金 is cash and card means card, so credit card, debit card. And they will take your card or take your cash and go back and come back with the change or no change. Say there's a change, they will say, 多謝晒先生，找返你100蚊。多謝晒先生，找返你100蚊。So 找返你 is that here's your change, that's the change I'm giving you. And you will be pack up and getting ready to go, and when you're at the entrance or exit, the seeing will say, 多謝晒，拜拜。多謝晒，拜拜。So I will do a little recap of saying the whole thing in one coherent dialogue. So probably your dad will be like, 大家食飽飯未啊？食飽就行啦，唔好繼續坐啦。 And then they will wave the seeing over and be like 唔該埋單 and the seeing will come with your 單 your receipt and they will be like 麻煩先生 check 啲嘢嚟齊未麻煩先生檢查下啲嘢嚟齊未 if you want to be real Chinese then your dad check the check and then be like 嚟齊晒啦唔該埋單 and the waiter ask 你想點俾啊 and your dad says 唔該我想俾現金 and maybe they will say 多謝晒先生660蚊 and then they go away with your cash and then they come back and will say 呢度找返先生60蚊 and your dad take the cash you guys get ready and then you go and then the waiter seeing will say 多謝晒拜拜歡迎下次再嚟 so it kind of goes like that. And as I said in the beginning, I will teach you how to compliment or complain about a meal. Me and my friend went to a restaurant and we complained about the meal between ourselves yesterday. So I think that's quite funny and relevant. So I will start with the bad news first, so the complaints first, which is quite fresh to me. We said something like, 呢間嘢都唔好食嘅，又貴，下次都係唔好再幫襯啦。呢間嘢都唔好食嘅，又貴，下次都係唔好再幫襯啦。So it means the restaurant is expensive and it doesn't taste good. So 幫襯 means we're being a patron to the restaurant, so we won't be there again. 我哋唔會再嚟幫襯。And if you're not happy about the service, which we were, so you can say something like, 哇，啲侍應真係唔係好好。哇，啲侍應真係唔係好好。It's like, wow, the waiters are not that good. And the service we had yesterday was extremely bad. So I will teach you something more slang and a bit more, I would say it could be offensive to some people. So use this one carefully. So it goes, 哇，啲侍應都幾細㗎喎。哇，啲侍應都幾細㗎喎。So 細 is a mild swear word. It can come up a bit strong if you say it in front of someone who doesn't really like hearing swear words. And of course, like most of the time, restaurants and waiters are amazing. So you can compliment them. 頭先間餐廳真係好好食，又平又好好食，下次真係要再嚟。頭先間餐廳真係又平又好食，下次真係要再嚟。So the restaurant is cheap and very tasty, so you want to come again. 哇，頭先嗰個 waitress 真係好 nice 啊，下次真係要嚟幫襯啫。哇，頭先嗰個 waitress 真係好 nice 啊，下次真係要嚟幫襯嘅啫。So the waitress is really nice and you want to come again. And yeah, we do use a lot of English word in our daily conversation. That's why I focus on teaching more phrases and sentence structures instead of vocabularies, because you can always substitute it with English nouns and people will more or less understand what you're saying. So these are all the phrases I want to teach you about eating out in Hong Kong. So it ranges from arriving at the restaurant, ordering, pleasantries, and things you will actually say during the meal, and how to finish and ask for the bill. And also a little bonus of complimenting or complaining about your meal. I hope it's helpful. If you want, you can leave me a comment in the link in the show note so I know what you would like to learn and I can adjust my content accordingly. And as promised, to celebrate reaching such an impressive number of listeners, I will do a bonus episode in Cantonese number, so stay tuned. It will probably be released on Thursday after this episode. On each Monday, a new episode of Canto Be Like will be released on Spotify, YouTube, or Apple Podcasts, or any podcast listening platform you use, because I use a feed and stuff, just stick to one platform, so that's not an issue. And thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. Take care, and I will see you next time.